ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi, walking side by side with the Deputy President William Ruto, whom some had already some time back predicted that they're going to work together. And he had been very cagey about the information until today, when we are now seeing them together, the Deputy President William Ruto alongside ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi, who is going to announce officially that he's going to run for president. And the Deputy President has already had a few minutes ago in a short clip or in a video that he had shared from Kajiado County, where he was attending a church service, saying that this is going to be a day that is going to end politics of conmanship, campaigns of deceit, and perhaps this is the moment now where he's now walking in alongside the ANC party leader. And maybe this explains why the Kanu and Gideon Moi is not part of this right now, because he was here a few minutes ago, but he left, and we yet to understand the reason. But he has, in the recent past, not been working so closely with the Deputy President. Maybe this is just one of the signs, but it is a big day. Deputy President William Ruto going together with the ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi towards the 2022 general election that is only about 198 days to go. And of course, we are going to give you blow-by-blow cover of this event. And many political pundits will explain this in so many ways, that this earthquake is actually translating to be one of the biggest earthquakes the country has had, because nobody had in any way predicted that this was coming this soon, because many had already been saying that it could happen, but about when it was a question. But coming only 6 months to go is a very big concern to any political competitor. And the ANC, some of the Kenyans had already been talking about this earthquake, saying that people should take cover, some should avoid tall buildings, and I think some will have to take into consideration that. And of course, we are going back to the main auditorium where that is happening, and we'll be giving you more updates later on.
Ladies and gentlemen, Super
Thank you. Our chief guest and the man of the moment, Your Excellency, Mheshimiwa Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi, who is also a party leader, Your Excellency, Madam Tessie Mudavadi, the Mudavadi family, our friend, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, who is also the party leader for UDA, distinguished party leaders present, notably Honorable Senator Moses Masika Wetangula, and all other party leaders present, governors present, honorable members of the Senate and members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished delegates, ANC. We need more energy. ANC. Uchumi bora. Uchumi bora. Vijana. Wamama. Kenya yote. Na Musalia Mudavadi? Asanteni sana. Your Excellency, Honorable Delegates, it is my official duty to welcome all of you into this National Delegates Congress of the Amani National Party. Allow me to recognize and salute party leadership and party hierarchy and different delegates from different parts of our nation. We have our national chairman. Of course, to start with, we have the party leader, who is obviously the #1 delegate. Makofi ya party leader. In our midst, we have our 5 deputy party leaders, who include Honorable Issa Timami, former governor for Lamu, Honorable Kasim Tandaza, member of parliament for Matuga, Honorable Captain Abdi Yare, who is our party leader as well, Makofi Captain, Honorable Margaret Intongai, all the way from Meru, is also a deputy party leader. Last but not least, Honorable Sakwa Bunyasi, member of parliament for Nambale. We also have our national chairman, Honorable Kevin Lunani, Makofi. We have in our midst the National Executive Board. We have the legal team led by Council Dana Mayo. We have the Dispute Resolution Council led by Council Harriet Chigai. We have the Elections Board led by Honorable Busaid. We have the Youth League led by Amira Abdullahi. Makofi ya Youth League jameni. We have the Women League led by Mama County Vihiga, Honorable Beatrice Adagala. We have our parliamentary caucus led by Honorable Tindi Mwale, member of parliament. We have our MCA caucus led by Honorable Obed Mwale from Trans Nzoia. Of course, we have branch officials from all over. Let us see whether we have delegates from Western Kenya. Makofi. Delegates from the Coast region. Delegates from Eastern, delegates from Northeastern, delegates from Coast region, delegates from Mount Kenya region, and delegates from all over the Republic of Kenya. Of course, we have various caucuses and lobby groups, notably the Musalia Powerhouse, led by Comrade Ben Miheso. Powerhouse Umpo. ANC. We also have the wonderful Musalia Mudavadi daughters, led by Clarence Muloma. Makofi ya Mudavadi daughters. Naona pale. Your Excellency, party leader, today is a big day for you, and today is a big day for our party. For the reason that this morning, we had a National Delegates Conference that we would call the official one or the legal one. And of course, now we are here for the main one. And allow me, delegates, to confirm that this morning, the National Delegates Congress passed the following 2 resolutions. That pursuant to the provisions of Article 19.1 of the party constitution, His Excellency Honorable Mudavadi be and is hereby confirmed as the presidential candidate of the Amani National Congress Party in the coming general elections. That pursuant to the provisions of Article 21(1)(p) and Article 61 of the Constitution of Amani National Congress Party, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi be and is hereby mandated and authorized to negotiate and enter into a pre- or post-election coalition.
Hello.
I want to thank our delegates for passing those 2 very critical resolutions. And we can see that today is a big day. Party leader, we have guests. We thank you very much. We mandated you this morning, but we didn't know you had gone ahead to start creating way for that part of negotiate and do what? And enter into pre- or post election coalition. That is my part for today. And now, having done that, having executed my constitutional duties, I'm going to invite the national chairman, who will also give his remarks. Thank you very much. And salimiane tena, ANC, uchumi bora, Musalia Mudavadi. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simon Gikuru Kamau.
Comrade, I'll just use this. Your Excellency, the party leader, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, His Excellency, the Deputy President, elected leaders, invited delegates, comrades, mothers and fathers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. In front of you is Kennedy Ocheng, alias Comrade Sankara. Your Excellency, the Deputy President and the party leader, I want to say the following, and I'll speak about the comrades who also double up as the youth. Your Excellency, in our education system, they say destroying a country does not require use of long-range missiles and atomic bombs. It only requires lowering the status of education, because we know innocent patients die in the hands of such doctors. Innocent citizens are murdered in the hands of such security apparatus. Public funds may be lost in the hands of such leaders. Your Excellency, my party leader, it is in my deep conviction that I bring to you the far-fetched greetings from comrades from all the regions in this country. Umepokea salam. Your Excellency, employment. In this country, annually, we graduate over 500,000 students from various tertiary institutions. Unfortunately, 75% of this population remain unemployed. What is the problem? I am deeply convinced that under your leadership, now that I can see, yeah, it's actually, you have been convinced Asla to deputize you, to congratulate. Asla sumekubali. Mimi naweza kuwa waziri wa vijana kwa serikali ya Musalia Mudavadi. Sindio? Your Excellency, I want to talk about employment creation. As young people, we only need a youth-branded platform where we are going to speak powerfully, take appropriate action, and convince the aspiration that can positively impact in the future of the young generation. Because you may not make the future for us, but you can make young people for the future generation. Your Excellency, a lot of young people have been shown in the screens committing suicide, resulting from mental and psychological torture. It is because our economy has been dilapidated. Our social morals have been reduced. Our young ladies who go to campus to study, some of them are turned into sexual tools for them to survive. Sini ukweli? We want an economy where young people are going to be respected through empowerment. Comrades, power. Your Excellency, with the continuous degradation of the environment and destruction of water catchment zones, the marine stock, we are not convinced that the future holds right for the youth. Because in a society where the ecosystem is dilapidated, we are close to another pandemic. We believe that when you rise to the presidency, you are going to formulate and strengthen the already existing laws that are going to protect the ecosystem of this country. Your Excellency, as I sum up, I would wish to say and convince my fellow young people that we don't just make decisions, we must have made the right decision. I am a political toddler, but when I first joined politics, you are the first man I met immediately I came from the village. Now, Your Excellency, I will be betraying myself if I fail to follow your footsteps. I endorse you as our presidential candidate. I'm going to mobilize comrades, and I'm going to work with one, His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi. Comrades, power! Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, excellencies, distinguished guests, all protocols observed. I hope you're all having a lovely Sunday. Okay. Good morning, Dad. The next president of Kenya. My name is Marianne Atsanzale Musalia Mudavadi, and I am the daughter of Honorable Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi. We've gathered here on a very momentous occasion. However, before I introduce my father, I'd like to say a few things about him. So my dad started his career in politics in 1989. Sorry, is this thing lagging? Yeah, okay. In 1989, under the presidency of the late President Daniel Arap Moi. May his soul rest in an eternal peace. Under President Moi's tenure, he served as the MP of Sabatia, the Minister of Supplies and Marketing, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Agriculture, and the Minister of Information, Transportation, and Communication. He also served as the 7th Vice President of the Republic of Kenya. Under the presidency of the retired President Mwai Kibaki, my dad served as the Deputy Prime Minister of Kenya. We can see that he is clearly a strong, tried, experienced, very prominent figure in Kenyan politics. My dad is a champion for change for all Kenyans, regardless of their age, their gender, their ethnicity, and their class. He's an inspiration to both old and young leaders and a role model to many. Considering all the sacrifices my dad has made for this country due to his extremely selfless nature, kind heart, and integrity, I stand here very proud to say that this is my dad. Therefore, it is with my deepest honor I introduce the man himself of the moment, my dad, party leader of Amani National Congress, Honorable Wycliffe Musalia Mudavadi.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And please be upstanding. And now, distinguished guests, delegates of the ANC, indomitable Kenyans, those who have resiliently waited for a moment of hope.
Fellow Kenyans, ladies and gentlemen, the choice of this day has been made very carefully and deliberately, because indeed people are asking me why Sunday. For we are gathered here to mark the start of the turning wheel of the history of our country. We are at a turning point where the story and experience of our country must turn. In the past, Kenya has experienced many turning points where her history has refused to turn because there was no will to turn it. Today's assembly is different from all other assemblies of this kind before. It is because we intend to turn the history of our country. Hence the theme of this occasion is Ni kweli tusidanganyane. it is true. Let us not lie to one another. For so long, Kenyans have lived on a diet of political lies, deceit, and betrayal. Those in leadership have failed to place any useful premium on the words that leave their lips. There has been no passion in their hearts, no sincerity in their minds. And when making promises, and especially electoral promises, a wide gulf exists between the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts. Our words dissolve into meaningless vapor the very moment they leave our lips. This assembly is intended to mark the start of the end of the culture of leadership, paying lip service to the long-suffering people of this country in the spirit of our mantra, ni kweli tusidanganyane. Accordingly, no day of the week could be more astute for the NDC of ANC, as well as our missionary and visionary agenda for this country and its people. Within Christendom, Sunday is sacrosanct. It is a day to make ablutions and oblations. Join me, therefore, on a brief and truthful journey of reflection about our dear country, an audit of our hopes and the impediments that frustrate them. Where is our country, and what can we do about it? First, Kenya is broke. Let me state the obvious. Kenya is broke. Tusidanganyane. The great American patriot Abraham Lincoln admonished us to always follow the path of the truth. The fact is, he said, the truth is your truest friend, no matter what the circumstances. So the truth must be told, no matter how uncomfortable it may be to some. Tusidanganyane. Kenya's public debt is galloping towards the 9 trillion ceiling against a GDP of Kenya shillings 11 trillion. This means that for every 100 shillings of revenue collected, 70 shillings goes towards paying debt. That leaves a paltry 30 shillings for public salaries, health services, education, security, infrastructure, and all those services that fall under devolved government. Yet we are told all the time by faceless people, yani team Danganya Kenya. Team Danganya Kenya. Not to speak about these things to Kenyans. But we must speak about these things. We must tell Kenyans that their country is at risk of being auctioned by international lenders. Critical national assets have been mortgaged. Indeed, the whole country is now on mortgage. When we ask to be told how the SGR facility, an infrastructure project, not a security project, an infrastructure project, when we ask to be told how the SGR facility has been secured, for example, we are told in affidavits We are told in affidavits filed by the government in court, not by a stranger, but by the government in court, that it is a state secret, a high national security risk. Ladies and gentlemen, this is truly an affirmation that our sovereign debt has become a matter of national security and a risk to our security. The truth is that Kenya risks losing its sovereignty because of reckless borrowing to fund corruption. We need to save our country from the looming danger. We must tell Kenyans the truth about the so-called public-private partnerships. The private partners in this The truth is that Kenya risks losing its sovereignty because of reckless borrowing to fund corruption. We need to save our country from the looming danger. We must tell Kenyans the truth about the so-called public-private partnerships. The private partners in these cartel-style deals are people in government, working with their close family members and cronies. These people are literally eating up the country. They are eating you up. For how long will we allow this to go on? These are the real thieves in the country. And you know what? These cartels do not even pay taxes. They are the worst burden that the country has ever had to carry. We must, ladies and gentlemen, we must reject their political projects and sinister schemes. Asante is at home. When will we recognize that the political leadership of this country has failed the youth? We have behaved like rogue caretakers, Who rob those whose welfare you are custodians to? Young people are left with the motorbike as their only hope. Who has cheated us that this is sustainable? Agriculture is dead. Farmers across sectors are agonizing. They don't know whether to throw in the towel or to try one more season. Each year is a new season of net loss on investment. The sugar farmers, the tea farmers, the coffee farmers, the rice farmers, you name them. But nobody seems to care. For how long can this go on, fellow Kenyans? Meanwhile, because of the levels of unemployment and heavy taxation, the cost of production has gone through the roof, and the costs are pushed to mwananchi wa kawaida. And as the COVID pandemic has taken poverty among Kenyans to another level, depression has set in. Violence has overwhelmed us at home and away. That is the way it is. Tusidanganyane. Ndio tusidanganyane. The sanctity of life means nothing in our country. We wake up every day to news of murder, slaughter, and disappearances of persons. Even when several dozen bodies are discovered in gunny bags in a river, it is business as usual. Even when poor Kenyans are buried alive in a mine, we are unmoved. Young people are slaughtered like goats every day. Nobody is moved. What have we become, fellow Kenyans? And where is your government? When all this is happening, where are the handshake partners? What have we become, fellow Kenyans? And where is your government? When all this is happening, where are the handshake partners? We have lost sight of the meaning of government. Government is now about formalized corruption through budgeting to steal. We are seeking to be president of a corrupt and broke country. My answer is straightforward. I desire to lead the change back to economic prosperity. To reclaim the soul of our country. To offer trust. Trust that I will always tell Kenyans the truth. Do what I say and not promise what I cannot do. I ask Kenyans to trust me since I come with clean hands, experience, and I acknowledge that there are problems to be dealt with. I ask Kenyans to rally around the ANC's Uchumi Bora Pesa Mfukoni clarion call. This is not the usual empty rhetoric Kenyans have gotten used to. Sio kudanganyana. Unlike some eccentric experiments being bandied around, Uchumi Bora Pesa Mfukoni is about creation of wealth and employment. It is not a celebration of poverty. I am indeed glad that our competitors cannot avoid invoking Uchumi Bora Pesa Mfukoni, whether as a slip of the tongue or old age plagiarism. Uchumi Bora Pesa Mfukoni is a strategy to resuscitate the economy and put money where it helps most, in your pocket. Remember, you are only safe if your neighbor is safe too. Therefore, Uchumi Bora Pesa Mfukoni is about moving sovereignty to shared economic benefits for all. No one will be left behind or be discriminated. Hata hustlers wanahitaji uchumi bora. Hata hustlers benefits for all. No one will be left behind or be discriminated. Hata hustlers wanahitaji behind or be discriminated. Hata hustlers wanahitaji uchumi bora. Na pesa mfukoni. Nirudie. Hata hustlers wanahitaji uchumi bora na pesa mfukoni. Together we will do it. Kenyans, let me touch on the issue of quality leadership. Look for quality in leadership and abandon those with the trust deficit and deceit. Trust issues have a very special place in my heart and for the sake of our country. And we start today, here, now. Starting now and in the coming days, ANC will be seeking partnerships on the journey that we are now embarked upon. There is no shortage of friends, of goodwill, and good intent to partner with. For the avoidance of doubt, let me state this in plain words. We may not know who is going with us or who will be our comrades at arms on this mission. But we know who they will not be. They will not be those who cannot be trusted. Those whom you trust at your own risk. We have traveled with untrustworthy persons before, and even when we have given them another chance to redeem themselves, they have failed miserably by returning to their old mischief. It is true, after all, that bad manners die hard. We shall no longer countenance the company of those who cannot be trusted. No, never again. For the avoidance of doubt, and now I repeat, for the avoidance of doubt, the ANC stand, which I am privileged to pronounce, is that the spectre called Azimio is not an option when it comes to partnership. have traveled with untrustworthy persons before, and even when we have given them another chance to redeem themselves, they have failed miserably by returning to their old mischief. It is true, after all, that bad manners die hard. We shall no longer countenance the company of those who cannot be trusted. No, never again. For the avoidance of doubt, and now I repeat, for the avoidance of doubt, the ANC stand, which I am privileged to pronounce, is that the spectre called Azimio is not an option when it comes to partnership. Indeed, this thing is neither an Azimio nor about unity. It is about the self-preservation of some cunning individuals. The patterns are only well-known and predictable. Wamepoteza frequency na network. We have had enough of these self-preservation schemes. Tumechoka. Enough is enough. Tusidanganyane. We will not work with you. Meanwhile, I pledge to place my fellow citizens disposal I pledge to place at my fellow citizens' disposal my solid, tested and proven ability to restore the Kenyan economy from the doldrums. The present predicaments are not different from the economic meltdown that I successfully handled in the early 1990s as Kenya's finance minister. The country was broke. Kenya was an international pariah. Bilateral and multilateral lenders shunned us because borrowed sovereign money had gone down corrupt throats. Just like now, I restored macroeconomic stability that resuscitated Kenya's economy and spurred its growth. I established the Kenya Revenue Authority to protect domestic revenue from being stolen. I made Central Bank of Kenya an independent entity, therefore closing avenues of graft under foreign exchange control regimes. The lenders came back, and our economy was soon back on its feet. Today, however, there is an embarrassing national ritual of adjusting the debt ceiling upwards all the time. It is deceit bordering on criminal intent. I am therefore boldly stepping out of the shadows to caution the government against borrowing expensive, easy to embezzle commercial loans with short repayment periods. This is because I have what it takes to change course. I may not have the fabled Midas touch, but yes, trust me, I can. Once again, the great Abraham Lincoln famously said, by all means, don't say if I can, say I will. I am stepping forward to do what I know must be done to save this country. So I say, I will. And what should we do as a nation? Under the Uchumi Bora Pesa Mfukoni mantra, ANC is looking beyond the 5-year term of government to implement appropriate policies to support faster economic growth. Targeted for immediate action will be to implement measures to contain the government and of constitutional commissions and offices. We will use this protective shield to shelter and embolden important institutions such as the judiciary and labor movement. It is tragic that the robust labor movement that played a stunning role in securing Kenya's independence has been vandalized and cannibalized by clueless and clownish self-serving leadership. Under my watch, the labor movement is going to regain its sense of purpose and respectability as the middle house between employers and their employees. It will not be a clownish cowboy club that labors for a few individuals who openly boast and display the trappings of massive opulence whose sources remain smoky and mysterious. Ladies and gentlemen, for the workers of this country, can you imagine if Tom Mboya woke up today? If Dennis Akumu woke up today? If Sami Muhanji woke up today? If Peter Kibisu woke up today? If Chadu Kadongo woke up today? What would they find? It is worrying how these groups have bastardized state institutions by weaponizing them for selfish ends. The war against corruption is on the limp because of weaponization of the entities that should be fighting graft in the country. They have been politicized and personalized for political scarecrow purposes and prosecution of dissent. Individuals who do not toe a particular political line are targeted day in, day out for witch hunt through state agencies. This must not be allowed to go on. We stand up against political arm twisting and kidnapping of state entities for selfish missions, even way before we form government. And when we get there, there will be things of the past. Ladies and gentlemen, as I draw close to the end, both large, small, powerful, powerless, dominant, and subject, and also rural and urban, marginalized groups, diverse. 3 million members of ethnic minorities and marginalized groups are found in 26 counties. They suffer consequences of being few in number and are often despised, ridiculed, barred, ignored, devalued, and are underrepresented and unemployed. Let me make it very clear. As ANC, we want to work with them. Foreign policy, in a nutshell, without going into too much detail. We would like to recommend that the principles around uchumi bora, pesa mfukoni, as put out in the ANC manifesto, become a guiding principle for our foreign policy and indeed to make us put Kenya kwanza in whatever we do and whatever we negotiate. We must not mortgage our country. We must make sure that trade benefits us. And importantly, we also intend to intensify protection of Kenyans in foreign nations in a quid pro quo sequence in accordance with internationally accepted protocols and conventions. We will not stand by as Kenyan workers abroad are molested and killed. Fellow Kenyans, for all the pragmatic interventions I have outlined above, to see the light of day, we must work together. The first handle is the coming elections. Board this ship that I intend to command to the lighthouse ahead. I cannot therefore resist the beautiful words of our national anthem that invoke the Kenya we want. Let one and all arise, with hearts both strong and true. Service be our earnest endeavor, and our homeland of Kenya, heritage of our splendor. Firm may we stand to defend. And of constitutional commissions and offices. We will use this protective shield to shelter and embolden important institutions such as the judiciary and labor movement. It is tragic that the robust labor movement that played a stunning role in securing Kenya's independence has been vandalized and cannibalized by clueless and clownish self-serving leadership. Under my watch, the labor movement is going to regain its sense of purpose and respectability as the middle house between employers and their employees. It will not be a clownish cowboy club that labors for a few individuals who openly boast and display the trappings of massive opulence whose sources remain smoky and mysterious. Ladies and gentlemen, for the workers of this country, can you imagine if Tom Mboya woke up today? If Dennis Akumu woke up today? If Sami Muhanji woke up today? If Peter Kibisu woke up today? If Chadu Kadongo woke up today? What would they find? It is worrying how these groups have bastardized state institutions by weaponizing them for selfish ends. The war against corruption is on the limp because of weaponization of the entities that should be fighting graft in the country. They have been politicized and personalized for political scarecrow purposes and prosecution of dissent. Individuals who do not toe a particular political line are targeted day in, day out for witch hunt through state agencies. This must not be allowed to go on. We stand up against political arm twisting and kidnapping of state entities for selfish missions, even way before we form government. And when we get there, there will be things of the past. Ladies and gentlemen, as I draw close to the end, accept this assignment with a lot of humility and a sense of pride and duty. Whether the road ahead is marred with thorns or stones, heat or thunderstorms, I promise and commit that because of the confidence you have shown in me and because of your commitment to walk with me, we will this time get to the promised land. The land of milk and honey. Wakati huu tusidanganyane.